Hey guys, here's one of the worksheets that we had during this lesson, and I just want to go over it and make sure that we have a general understanding of what's going on right now, and then I'm going to do the questions with you as well. All right, so a little bit about pedigrees. So a pedigree is nothing more than a family tree, except when a biologist talks about a pedigree, then we're usually following a trait through the family tree. So quickly, these are generations. So generation 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like your generation, your parents would be the generation before you, and then your grandparents would be the generation before that. Okay, these are boys marked by squares, and the circles are marked by females. Anything that's shaded in is going to show the trait that we're tracking. So down here it's going to say the affected male will be colored in and affected female. So affected with what? Well, it could be hemophilia. It's a genetic disease. So hemophilia or sickle cell anemia or Huntington's disease, diabetes, anything like that we're going to trait, that we're going to follow the trait with through the generations. All right, so let's go over the questions here. So number 1 says, how many generations are shown in this pedigree? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do the Roman numerals mean on the left-hand side of the diagram? They mean the generation number. So we're looking at 4 generations, but some of these things go back way further than that. 3, how many females are in generation 4? So we're looking at generation 4, and we're just looking at all the girls. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the answer to that. Number 4, how many males are in second generation? So here's the second generation, so 1, 2, and there's 3. Question number 5. The male in the first generation, his name is John, and the female in the first generation, his name is Sarah. Okay, so I'm just going to label that. So here's John and Sarah. So they want us to label it on the pedigree. How many children do John and Sarah have? This is question 6. How many children? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I can't count this one here because this guy here is married to one of their girls. So John and Sarah have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting with their oldest here and their youngest there. They have 5 children. 3 of them are girls and 2 of them are boys. Question 7. How many grandchildren do John and Sarah have? Well, grandchildren are separated by 2 generations. So if these are their kids would produce babies and be their grandchildren. So this is their only daughter that had children with this man here. So how many grandchildren do they have? Okay, so they have 1 granddaughter here, grandson, a grandson, and a granddaughter. They have 4 grandchildren. There's going to be 2 girls, and there's going to be 2 of them are going to be boys. How many great-grandchildren do they have? Okay, so great-grandchildren are 3 generations apart. So here's all of the great-grandchildren right here. So there's 1, 2, 3 boys, and 1, 2, 3, 4 girls, so a total of 7. Okay, flip the page. Let's go to 9. The only affected female in generation 4 is named Ava. Label Ava on the pedigree. So here's generation 4, and it's telling us the only affected female. So females are circles, affected. Okay, so we know that this girl's name is Ava now, so we'll label that there. Ava's parents' names are Jake and Kate. Okay, we need to label those 2. So here's Ava. Her parents are here, Jake and Kate. So here's Jake and his wife Kate, or at least the person that he had babies with. Jake and Kate are there. 11. How many males in this family are affected by the disease? How many males in this family right here? So there's only 1. So their youngest son right here is affected by this disease. Number 12. How many females in this family are affected by the disease? Just Ava. Okay, so just 1. 13. If the disease is a recessive disease that is represented by B, what is the genotypes of all affected individuals? Write the genotype under each affected individual of the pedigree. Okay, so we know it's recessive. Genotypes are just talking about letters. Okay, so we're going to give it a B. So we know B's come together in one of 3 ways. They can be pure dominant, they can be hybrid, or they can be pure recessive. Now we know the disease is recessive. The only way that a recessive trait ever shows up is if two of them are put together. If it's these two here, it'd be covered up by the big B. So anybody that has the disease is always got to be that. Okay, so all of these shaded in, we know that they are pure recessive for that disease. It's the only way they can have it. Number 14. Using your answer from question 13 and your knowledge of inheritance, determine the genotypes of John and Ava's mom. Okay, so here is Ava here, okay, and this is John here. John and Ava's mom. So we got Kate right here. Now, Jake we know is this, because it's a recessive disease. Kate does not have the disease. So what you should be thinking is, okay, there's two things that Kate could be. Kate could be this, or Kate could be hybrid. But if you really start to think about it, the only way that two little b's could ever connect down here and give 2 out of their 4 children pure recessive is if Kate is hybrid. Okay? If I do a quick Punnett square down here, I'll put Jake up here, 2 little b's, and I'll put Kate here. And I'll choose this choice here. We know that there's a 50% chance of them passing on the disease. Here's where they're going to be. Now, if I did not choose this, and I said that Kate was this, I predicted that Kate was double dominant here for not having the disease, then this would be a big B. Then one of these would be big and big again. There'd be 0% chance. So we know it cannot be this. Kate has got to be hybrid for that trait. So John's genotype is going to be little b, little b. Ava's mother is going to be hybrid. And in the space below on 14C, it says explain how you found these 2 genotypes. All the work that I did down here explains that.